All right, we're a few minutes late getting started. I apologize. I was having difficulty with the computer. Anyway, let's go ahead and before we get started, Don, would you please?
Well, thank you now, this time we can come and conduct the business of this town, let us act in a Christ-like manner. Lord, I know there's a lot of hurts among us tonight. Someone's lost loved ones, and we ask that you comfort them and put their loving arms around them. We ask in a special way that you continue to be the great physician. Thank you for returning Myrtle back to her health.
Yes, Lord.
All the ones in this community, Lord, that we know a lot of times we take things for granted, Lord, and just keep us mindful that we're blessed beyond all needs. Thank you again for this opportunity, and let's conduct ourselves in a Christ-like manner. Give you great glory and honor and praise. Amen.
Amen.
All right. Let's call the meeting to order. Our first order of business will be the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, Brenda, would you call the roll?
Mayor Arthur, Councilor Myrtle. Here. Councilor Eugene Cotty.
Here.
Councilor Brenda Lowe. Here. Councilor Floyd Philpott.
Here.
Councilor Steve Brewer.
Here.
All present. You have a quorum, Mayor.
Thank you, Brenda. Please mute your telephones.
Oh, that was me.
All right. Once again, I'd like to welcome everyone that has chose to attend our meeting tonight. You're always welcome. We're glad you're here. We do ask that you allow us to conduct our business, and there will be an opportunity for the public comments at the conclusion of the meeting. All right. Let's go ahead and review the minutes from the previous meeting.
Mayor Arthur called to order the regular meeting of the council at 7 p.m. on February the 11th in the town hall. Invocation was given by Don Hagel. The Pledge of Allegiance to our flag was given. Roll call. The clerk conducted a roll call. The following persons were present: Mayor Arthur Self, Councilors Eugene Kiley, Floyd Philpott, Steve Brewer. Myrtle Van Cleek and Brenda Lowe were absent. The approval of minutes. The clerk read the minutes of the January 14th meeting. Motion was made by Eugene, seconded by Floyd to approve the minutes. The minutes were approved as read. Our representative on open issues, our representative from Alabama is Rashida Burton in the Gardendale office. She checked and told the clerk that we have no long-term obligations in regards to the park lights. New business. The mayor presented the financial reports, and a motion was made by Steve and seconded by Floyd to accept the financial reports. Motion carried. A discussion of the streetlights inventory. The clerk and Sue Calvert checked all poles for numbers in order to decide which ones to turn off. List was given to Steve and Floyd, the street and lighting committee, and mayor is to call a special meeting in a week or 10 days for decision on the lights. A discussion on the street lights in Green Acres. Mr. Van Mulvihill has been paying for the lights since the subdivision was built. A motion was made and seconded to bill the town for these lights. Motion carried. A discussion of appointing a historical committee for the town with the name of Sue Frances Calvert to head the committee, if she will accept. Mrs. Calvert said she would be delighted to accept. Public discussion. Need to contact Blunt EMA for designation of North and South Deans Ferry Road for emergency vehicles. Also need signs on Deans Ferry for county line town limits. Adjournment. A motion was made by Floyd and seconded by Steve to adjourn the meeting at 8:05 p.m. Meeting adjourned. Minutes submitted by Brenda Philpott, clerk.
Any comments, corrections? And do we have a motion to accept? Agree?
I make a motion to accept.
I'll second.
All in favor?
The others is other special, and that was just the discussion. Do you want to read those? Everybody has a copy.
Yes, let's go ahead and clear
Okay.
that one too.
Okay. Well,
You need my copy?
no, I got it.
Okay.
Town and county line special meeting. February 21st, 2013, the mayor called to order the special meeting of the council at 7 p.m. A discussion on which street lights were to be turned off by the committee of Stephen Floyd. A motion was made by Myrtle and seconded by Floyd to accept the committee recommendation. Motion carried. A motion was made by Brenda Lowe and Floyd to contact Van Mola Hill for an estimate on road repair on Cobb Brazil, Dean's Ferry, and the culvert on Smith Mill Road at Thermal Road. On the proclamation, the mayor and Brenda Lowe to take care of the wording. Meeting was adjourned at 7:45. Minutes submitted by Brenda Philpott clerk.
All right, any corrections, comments?
Yep.
All right, do we have a motion to accept?
I'll make a motion to accept.
I'll second.
All
Who
in favor?
seconded? Jean?
Jean, all in favor?
On the other one, you made the motion to accept, and who was the second?
Yeah.
Myrtle,
Myrtle.
Thank you. Okay.
all right, let's, go over the financial. Brenda, I'll let you do it this time. Pardon me. We have the capital improvement fund, there's no change, so there's not a printout for it.
It's still 65.
The balance is the same,
Yeah.
no change whatsoever. $69 and change.
Do we ever get anything to go back in that fund?
We should here in a few months. A distribution of trust fund interest goes into that account. And I think it's in April or May, if we expect to see that. Let's cover the 2 and 7 account first. Brenda?
Oh, the 2 and 7 account, I'm sorry. The balance is $8,225.32. And I have the state of Alabama, that deposit has not cleared yet because I believe I've just got the notice today from the state of how to distribute it, so I just put it in there, so I haven't distributed it yet, but it's in the bank, so.
Okay.
The 4, 5, and 6 account, the balance is $6,400.45. We've not had any checks out yet. And the general fund, the balance is $8,007.40, and we've paid everybody up to date, so. And paid for supplies, paid for the post office, paid for a little bit of everything.
Okay.
Lawyer, attorney fees, everything.
Do we have any idea how many business licenses are still outstanding?
Well, I've sent out second notices to all of those that were on my list that had not, so I have sent out second notices to
Okay.
everybody. But we still have quite a few that's outstanding, and I will stay after them,
Okay.
okay?
All right, any questions or comments or corrections for the financials? Okay, have a motion to accept,
I make a motion to accept.
I second.
all in favor? Did you get that, Brenda? Eugene,
And
and
Steve,
Steve.
got it.
Okay, reports of standing committees. Um, Nothing new since the streetlights.
Nothing new.
Have they been,
I have sent off, I haven't been out after dark yet to see if they, I talked to, one of the ladies, spoke with her, and she took down the list that they had recommended to cut off. And, and then Miss Burton called, who was our representative, and she called me, and she had spoken with some other people. But then we had a problem, and we had to go out of town, so I wasn't here. And then Miss Burton called me and told me she needed it in writing, so I faxed it over to the lady.
Okay.
I took a list of inventory and wrote on the ones to turn off, and faxed it to Alabama Power, so that's where we stand with that. I don't know, like I said, I haven't been down the road to know. And
What about the lights out here?
I forgot to put on there the floodlights,
Oh.
so I'll have to talk with Miss Burton tomorrow, or see about faxing them about the floodlights.
Well, Alabama Power did turn my light back on.
They did come and fix that one.
Yes, and they
Good.
fixed flashes also.
Okay, good. Well, I mean, I've been really,
Yeah, I know.
we've been talking back and forth with Alabama Power, but now, and Mr. Hayes, I don't know if his has been fixed.
His is on.
It's on now? Good, okay, well, I've tried to, been after them, trying to get that done, so it helps to know they are.
Kind of knocked us in the head, always laid up with the baby sick,
Yeah.
buried him. That was a bad thing.
all right. We have no other committees reports. No special committee reports.
Well, I did check, last time in the minutes, it was about the EMA and about the,
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
I called about that and talked to them at, the emergency management. And he told me that, well, I had a piece of paper in my pocket, I wanted to do this. He told me that 911, Malcolm, if you call 911, they have the addresses of every 911 address. And if it is, north of the river, they call the West Blunt. If it's south of the river, they call Dallas Southville. So he said 911 has got us covered. We don't have to, because we were talking about how can you go, where do you go from Dean's Ferry? You go to the river, and then that's it, because the bridge is, there's not a straight through. So we discussed it, and he said that we're covered because the 911 has all of the street addresses, and they know, or the postal addresses, and they know which fire department to call. So that's what they told me. I asked them if we needed to designate a North Dean's Ferry and a South Dean's Ferry, and he said not really, because 911 has the
breakdown.
correct, of which fire department would be, or which paramedics or emergency service would be. So I left it at that and said that was good. Okay?
Okay. Thank you. All right, I have a bit of new business. I sent everybody a copy of the road repair proposal that I had received.
And I'm not getting my emails from
You know, I have to check, we'll have to double check,
You did
make sure
look,
I've got it.
I
yeah,
did
she came by
look
the
and-
office and looked at it, but I brought it up, but you never did get it, huh? We
Yeah,
better
really?
check your email address.
Make sure I've got the right one. Here's a copy of it, this is the original, but this one was prepared by Curtis Guthrie. And Malcolm worked with him to get this out. I also have a proposal from Van, and as it stands right now, Van is the lower price. So, but I do want to talk to this gentleman to see, compare the apples to apples. I know what Van is going to do for his proposal, But I wanna see what this gentleman's gonna do, to make sure that we're looking at the same thing. But I just wanted the council to be aware of this. We have one item that we're gonna have to have fixed relatively quick, and that's on Smith Mill Road. About a half a mile down from the four-way stop. There is a sinkhole on the right-hand side of the road going south that we have got to get filled in. So, do we have a motion to,
I make a motion, we go ahead and do it.
okay?
I said,
Is Van gonna do that?
Well, he would, I can call him and ask him too, because that's one of the areas that we looked at
Yeah.
for some of the road work that
Needs to be.
that needs to be done.
well,
Um,
what kind of materials are you using to fill it in and all that?
Well, the hole needs to be filled in with some rock so it drains and we don't have another washout.
I think we need to get it done, but we need to check and see what Van's gonna
It's,
charge.
it's a definite hazard, safety hazard, because you cannot see it.
It's an emergency
Right.
situation on that particular.
We think we need it to be done.
Yes, and we'll go ahead and get it done as soon as possible. And, it's probably gonna be outside of these, proposals.
Do you think Blunt County would do the work if we paid them for the materials?
We
Check
can,
with
we can
them?
contact them.
I know, Wayman Pitts offered to do that to the culvert up there,
Yeah, but
so they
And
know.
Wayman's
we have a
not there.
different.
Yeah, I know, but,
The thing about it
We have
is right
areas
now, that place up there at, where
it's
is it?
not the culvert on Thermal Road. That's.
I know, it's at
It's
Thermal
down.
Road's where I'm trying to say.
Right.
That place up there is bad. And
well,
there's
he's
a-
talking about past that,
But
but
he's
No,
talking
there's a
about-
there is a different place. I'm not
Oh, it's
talking
not-
about the culvert.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I'll have to take you over there to show you, 'cause.
I know where that is.
Okay, it's down by.
Okay, so it's, let's see about who
So-
does it best price.
Okay,
I
have a
guess we
motion
need
on
to
that.
vote
Mhm.
on what kind of materials, don't we?
Well, we need to, my recommendation is to fill that hole with rock so that it can drain and it won't wash like it has been. But that's only filling the hole. The rest of the problem, the road needs to be graded on the sides so the water will drain off instead of pooling right there where that hole has,
Is it,
uh,
is this gonna replace it? I mean, is this gonna take care of that problem, or?
Well, if we get the drainage fixed on the road, where it won't pool right there where the sinkhole is.
Well, let's go ahead and
Sorry.
do that if that's, because that's a bad spot. And that up there by the church is too.
Do
And
you,
the one down there by you is too.
do you want me to contact Strickland from Blunt County? I don't know what it will take. This to me sounds like something that's, needs to be done right away, but I
Yeah.
don't know.
We can call her commissioner at Blount County and see if
And
he's
see what he
receptive.
says? Okay.
If we pay for the materials, would they supply the labor?
Can he get somebody out here? Okay.
Yeah, we'll call him
I'll
tomorrow.
call him
Okay, well, let me know, how that comes.
Well, I make a motion that we get it fixed, no matter if they can't do it, then we get somebody
Okay,
else to do it.
okay.
Because
Okay,
it
but
needs to be done fast.
Wait, we have a motion already.
Okay.
So either rescind Myrtle's motion and make a new motion, or finalize it, because she made a motion first, that we
Oh,
fix
that's
it.
right.
So, what?
So you wanna make a
Well,
another?
yeah, we'll make a motion to fix it.
You wanna amend your motion? Amend your motion?
Because, you know, if somebody's car or something gets in there, they can sue us.
Now, we're not talking about the
I
culvert
know.
on Turner.
Yeah.
Okay, we're down below there,
Yeah.
okay, past that, okay. So you wanna make the motion to contact Blount County, and then just do whatever we have to do to fix it, as an emergency fix? Okay. All right, there's a second.
I see.
She said,
Okay, all right.
There you go.
All right. And let me know, Brenda,
I will call you.
what the results are from the county. 'Cause if
I'll
we
call
don't,
you as soon as I get in touch with him.
Okay. If need be, we'll contact somebody else, go ahead and get that hole filled in.
You're a good person to have around here. Make cookies and make.
All right. As far as the other road work goes, it is my recommendation that, once we take care of this emergency fix, is, let me, have an opportunity to get with, Mr. Guthrie and go with him to find out exactly what his estimate or his proposal covers. And, then we'll be better able to, compare the two proposals. So as we stand right now, we're gonna fix the hole one way or another.
Yeah.
Right.
And then we'll pick this up at least the next business meeting on the proposals. Because it would be probably best to wait until the weather warmed a bit more before we start trying to patch. So. Any other comments or questions on road repairs?
Well, in the meantime, while we're waiting on that, is there any way that my husband can get some of this red rock out here and put in those holes that are so deep on Dean's Ferry?
On Dean's Ferry? Yeah.
What about taking what's left and go down Cobblesville as far as it'll go?
Well, that's what I meant,
You didn't mean
Yeah.
Dean's Ferry.
Yeah,
Dean's
they can
Ferry.
put it on
Yeah, we've already
Dean's
put some
Ferry.
out on
Already
Dean's
put some
Ferry.
on.
Yeah, because we were down there the other day and it stayed in them holes
Well,
pretty
it's
good.
not now.
It's not
Because of the rain.
Rain, I mean, it was just,
It's just a temporary.
temporary, but yes,
But right in front of the Bobos, I mean, it's just really
It's where the
rough.
dip
and-
is down there. though.
Yeah, and then there's another place down by me that there's a hole that deep.
We
And there's
can-
another hole beside it, so we kinda have to try to straddle, but if it's raining, we can't. We just have to go through them because you can't get off the road or you'll get stuck.
well, I'd rather see the rock used
Yeah,
somewhere.
Then to let it
than
sit
it
there,
out there.
people taking shovelfuls of it, just disappeared, so you might as well use it. It's already been paid for.
Well,
Or
is
do
it
you need-
okay for me just to come down here with him to get it, or do you need to be here?
No, it's
Who
fine,
are
we
you
can
gonna
come
get?
with you.
Yeah, you come with them if you want to, and show them which holes you're talking about, whatever. Do you wanna go, I mean, who's gonna come and,
My husband's gonna
He's
come and
coming.
get it.
Thomas gonna come?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All
If
right.
it comes.
No, I don't have to be here, you're perfectly capable of, but I probably will be here, I mean, if you come, it depends on the weather when it is, okay?
We'll put it in the roads, and that's what, the bottom line is, we're using it on town roads, and they definitely need it. All right, any other comments, questions about road work? All right, do we have any,
There's two spots over on that column Brazil that it's not gonna do any good to patch. You're gonna have to have somebody that can lay the asphalt down with a spreader and fix two spots. You don't just patching it. All it's gonna do is just take it right back out as you put it in.
Right.
It's low areas, and water will beat it out. I don't care what you put in.
we gotta get drainage, we gotta have the drainage fixed. Now, that's part of the problem with a lot of the potholes around the town, is we have the poor drainage. And we get the drainage taken care of, we're not gonna have the standing water. So. Okay. Do we have any communications, petitions, application,
None?
and no resolutions, ordinances, or orders or other business?
None?
All right. Public comments?
Buddy,
Yes, sir.
Mr. Mayor, I should address you. I want to say we want to welcome Mr. Joe Knight, Commissioner of our district right here. Appreciate him taking his time and coming out.
We did.
Absolutely.
And I'm gonna give you a word of advice on that red rock, and I'm glad that y'all put it out on Dean's Ferry. But you got to keep back here, remember now, if that red rock walks out of that hole and somebody gets on it with a motorcycle or they slide on it, they still gonna hold the town responsible.
Well, we
Cause I was
will.
involved in a lawsuit on that about 8 years ago with Jefferson County. We patched with some gravel, and it worked out of the hole. And the guy come along. I know you ride a motorcycle, and the guy come along with a motorcycle. Someone did, and when he hit that gravel, it slid out from under him. Of course, the county had to buy him a motorcycle and pay for his broke leg. I mean, that's just something that we need to think about. I mean, y'all, Lord help, it needs to be patched with cement or something, you know. But you need to keep in mind when that stuff goes to working out, and there's a wreck, somebody slides on it, they're gonna hold the town, still hold the town responsible. Because I've been involved, and I ain't trying to be smart, if y'all please don't take it that way. But we got to look at that angle too. And I appreciate you, Van, and y'all doing that. Cause I just spent $1,000 on my Tahoe, putting the ball joints back under it. Not just because of that, but, you know.
Well,
And Gene was right down there on, and you was right too, both of you. If it's gonna take somebody can got a spreader to do it, or get it high enough and fill it in a little bit. And I know that price I give you, you know, was kind of steep, but I told you, you know, what it was. But we need to, I'm talking about, I shouldn't say we, y'all the councilman, you the mayor, but we need to keep in mind that when you got loose gravel on the road, you're asking for more liability, and more liability. Cause at one time, we was patching with, if y'all know what 610 is, Gene does. We throw 610 in the hole and go on, and it started working out this way, and it will. But, you know, I don't want to see y'all get in a bind, because we don't want to dissolve the town over some lawsuit. You know, I'm just trying to remind us, you know, what that stuff will do. And I, like I say, buddy, I appreciate y'all go ahead and patching them holes.
it's a temporary
Councilman
fix.
too, I appreciate y'all going and patching them. But got to keep in mind now that red rock will work out just like gravel will.
Yeah,
We'll work.
well, it's, like I said, it's a temporary fix,
Right,
and hopefully when we do get
and we do
patchwork
appreciate
done, it will take care of that.
it.
We're only talking about, you know, we're gonna attempt to do some patching within the next couple of months.
And we might, if you don't mind me speaking the second time, we might get with Commissioner Knight here, especially some of these on, I campaign for him some when he run. I don't know whether that's good or bad. Might be bad, wouldn't it, Mr. Knight? And, but anyway, we might get Jefferson County to help do some patching on the Jefferson County side.
Right.
And I don't know how far, where the Jefferson County line is down at Brenda's, but that might be worth calling in on. I talked to Mr. Knight, Commissioner Knight here, he might can help us get in lighting on.
I think that road's all in Blunt County.
It's all
Okay.
about county.
I know one time, I helped repair it one time, yeah.
Yeah.
When can we start working on getting grants to get the roads fixed?
We can start looking now, but, there's not a whole lot of money out there in grants.
And getting less.
It's fine.
I got online the other day and trying to learn about the grants, how to write a grant, and I got to a point to where I needed a number.
Mhm.
And it said that I should get that number from the entity, in other words, from the town. How do you get a number to be able to let me get in there?
There is a federal government website that is a clearinghouse for grants, all kind of grants. And, it's a centralized application process. We do not currently have a login or an ID for that system, just haven't done it yet. But that's probably what they're referring to,
That's
is
what I
the
think too.
identification number
That's what
for that. Yeah, I forget what the system is called, it's got a name, it escapes me right now, but.
He'll get it.
Yes, sir.
What was that deal, with Blount County here, I believe it was about 2 weeks ago? They come out and said they had so much money for the roads, can't we get our share out of that?
Well, that,
County and Blount
those were
County.
grants that were worked on in previous years that had finally come to fruition. They have their roads identified that they're going to spend that money on right now. That could change, but then we're gonna have to, we had to work through Blount County
Oh, okay.
if we're ever gonna get any up.
Yeah. They've designated what roads they're gonna work on. But they did make the statement in here that things can be changed, but how they'll change it, no.
At this point in time, I have not had any dealings with our new commissioner,
Yeah.
so I don't know how receptive they're gonna be. So, until I have an opportunity to do so, that's gonna be a big question mark. Yes, ma'am?
One more thing, I'm gonna change the subject, but I was talking to these two nice folks right here that joined us tonight, Cheryl and Richard, and their last name, just Fields, just failed me. I was down visiting with them, and they would like to, they're on Brandonwood Drive, or Brandonwood, is it Drive? They would like to join the town county line. And they talked with some of their neighbors, and they would like to do this, so they delegated, they come tonight and see what it was all about and what they need, and then they all want to petition the town to join.
To annex the
Annex
town.
it to the
Here
town.
to the right.
Yes, sir.
Is it Page?
A long time ago, I came down there and
So
talked to a
just
man
that,
about.
if,
I said,
after the meeting, if there's
we can
something
get
that we
together, I
can
don't know
help
if he's
them
the one.
with, tell them
It
what they
wasn't
need.
him I talked to, it was
bring.
another man.
All right, well,
Okay,
I'll be glad to talk to you after we get through here.
okay.
And we'll both learn from this. It's gonna be a learning process. But yes, by all means, we're glad to have you in town. But, all right, any other public comments? Okay. Well, our next scheduled meeting is April the 8th, here at 7 o'clock. So, if, I'd love to see you back here again. Any other business? Yes, sir.
What's his name?
Mr. Knight.
Mr. Knight,
Mr. Knight, did you have, would you like to say something or have any comments for us?
Well, I've been here before, but you all weren't here. And they were lined out to the street. It was a little issue they had up here. And then I came here about a month ago and nobody was here. So my office, I guess, had the
They called me and now want to know when the council
the
meeting.
dates were. So I just wanted to come by and introduce you and tell you who I am. And I know that y'all have to kind of balance yourself between Jefferson County and Blount County. And but we are Jefferson, and you know there's a lot of things going on in Jefferson County. When I ran for this office, I knew things were bad. I just didn't really, until I got in there, I didn't really realize how bad they were. We are still dealing with the bankruptcy issue. We have the distinguished privilege of being the largest municipal bankruptcy in the United States. However, Detroit may overcome us in the next few months. So what we're trying to do, and bankruptcy is a very difficult thing for a municipality because your debt doesn't go away, but the bankruptcy of Chapter 9 is what it's called, gives you an opportunity to reset as a public entity and basically it's like hitting a reset button. There's a lot of things you can do in a bankruptcy. your debt doesn't go away, but you can negotiate it. And that's exactly what we're trying to do now. We have 4 major areas. That's the general obligation debt. We have the school bond warrants. And we have the public building authority, which is the Bessemer Courthouse. And of course, we have the sewer debt. When I got into office, we were $4.23 billion in debt. So it's a big dig out. We've resolved we think we got the general obligation debt pretty much negotiated. The public building authority, which is the Bessemer Courthouse, we've got that renegotiated. The school warrants are fine. We're okay there. The sewer debt is still around $3.2 billion, and in fact, we'll be meeting with some representatives tomorrow. Hopefully, if we can resolve that at some reasonable amount, then we'll begin the process of coming out of bankruptcy. The sewer creditors have, of course, petitioned the bankruptcy court to let John Young, who was the receiver, who was in place when we got here, he basically ran the entire sewer system. But when we went into bankruptcy, he got put out basically in suspended animation. He's not gone, but he's just kind of out there. The sewer creditors had petitioned the bankruptcy court to let him come back in here and run the sewer again, and the bankruptcy court said no. They've appealed that to the 11th Circuit in Atlanta, and we have to go over there April 24th and 25th because the appeals court, 11th Circuit, has said you have to go and try to mediate this. So if we can get everything settled in the next few weeks, then that becomes moot, hopefully. But, you know, I really can't say a whole lot about the sewer and the negotiations, because if I tell Ms. Philpott that, you know, if I sit here and talk to her privately, I'm going to get deposed, and they're going to say, well, who did you talk to? And then they'll say, well, what did you talk about? And it being under oath, I have to say, and guess who gets the next subpoena? Ms. Philpott.
So you just be quiet.
But we are working on it, and it's very tough. Otherwise, at the county, of course, we got the county manager form of government. We made that transition so that there's not 5 commissioners out there trying to do their own thing, which is kind of what got us in trouble in the first place. We have a county manager, and we, as the commissioners, are the legislative body. He's the executive. He's the chief executive officer. So we're transitioning to that, and it's fine with me because now I don't have to deal with personnel problems. Personnel problems, okay, we have a personnel board, but we're also under a consent decree. We got sued 30 years ago because we were discriminating against women and African Americans. 30 years ago, this has been ongoing. We had a contempt hearing 2 months ago to where all the commissioners had to go in and testify because, you know, we haven't complied. Well, they were holding us accountable for things that happened in the late 90s, early 2000s, and we hadn't even thought about running for commission. But, you know, it was an accumulated thing, and the judge basically told us you're not to have anything to do with personnel matters. And sitting on that stand, the last thing that judge said to each of us as we went and testified is, do you understand? And we're like, yes, sir, gotcha, yes, sir. One of the problems we're having now is the taglines. If you bought a new car and had to go to one of the courthouses lately, it's a 3 and 4 hour wait. Now, to me, that's just intolerable. That's something that the citizens of this county ought not have to endure. A couple of things. We've had some cutbacks at the counties. That's always an easy excuse. But also, we have some requirements that in 2011 we had HB 56, which is the immigration bill. Well, that kind of put some new requirements on us to make sure you had the proper identification. So, and then there was another bill that says, you know, before an issuing authority can issue you a car tag, you must prove that you have liability insurance on your car. And that provision just went into effect January 2013. So we have people coming up to the courthouse, trying, as they've always done, bring their little cart tag in and do that. And they say, well, where's your liability insurance card? And they say, well, I didn't know nothing about it. Well, there's a notice on the back of the little card that says you have to have proof of this. But so what we're having to do is take that person's name and their insurance company, fax a notice to the insurance company. The insurance company then has to fax back proof of insurance. So, I mean, it's backing us up, and the citizens are just very, very upset about it. We're upset about it. We had a big discussion today at committee meeting and said, guys, this is the front line. This is where the people come. This is their first impression of Jefferson County. We have got to do better because, you know, in our poor clerks, you know, everybody talks about county workers. Well, you know, county workers are people too. And bless those clerks' heart. Everybody that's coming up to your window, imagine having a job to where every person that you come in contact with, they're mad when they get there because they've had to wait 3 or 4 hours. So we're doing the best we can. I mean, some of our clerks are not getting out of there to 6, 7, 8 o'clock at night, and they have young children, and they never know when they're going to be able to go home. So we had a big discussion about that today with county manager, and you know we've got to do better, and we've got to get word out to the public because we also have a requirement that was sent down by the Alabama Department of Public Revenue, the driver's license division, and that says that your name on your driver's license has to match that title. Otherwise, you got to go send in and get your title changed. And if you're married and your husband dies, I mean, it's just all these requirements that we're having to comply with. We've cut our staff back some, not a whole lot, but we have to, you know, deal with all these changes, and you know, we have to do a better job of getting the message out to the public that this is what you have to have when you come down here. It's going to be a wait until we can, you know, we're working on technology. We're working on some things that I think will speed it up some, but when you put all those stops in place and they all kind of pile on top of each other, it's a very tough situation. But we are working on it. We are addressing it. But you know, that doesn't do that person that had to take off work and come and stand in line or sit down in a chair for 3 hours. That doesn't make them feel better. So we are going to do what we can. When we came in here, our budget that the last commission had set for us was $312 million. That's the general operating fund for the county. We have reduced that budget to $195 million. So I mean, we have had, because the third week we were in office, they threw out the occupational tax that had been passed as a replacement for the last one that had gone thrown out. And so, you know, that was a $70 million cut right there on our third week in office. It says, well, you got to readjust that $312 million budget to, you know, absorb that loss of income. So we did, and we've done that, and we've done a little more. So we're doing what we can financially, and my position is this, and that is, okay, as far as an occupational tax, let's don't go back to the legislature and say, hey, we need an occupational tax. We have cut enough to where we can survive. It's not pretty, but we've done what we had to do in order to get by without any additional revenue. And my position was, look, let's try to get out of the bankruptcy. And in a year or two down the road, after we've done all we can do, see how much we're short. See what it takes to run this county. I think the number's around 210, 215 million, which is would be an additional 20 million, but I don't know that. We haven't got there. And today in committee, lo and behold, one of the commissioners says, well, I'm advertising for an occupational tax. And I'm like, oh Lord, here we go again. The legislative session is almost halfway over. If you went down there tomorrow and you had a bill that was supported by everybody, and you put that bill in, you'd be lucky to get that bill passed this session because of what happened week before last when they did that school flexibility bill and the accountability bill, which is now called, because the Democrats and the Republicans are just really at odds. And so what's happening now is any legislation that's coming down the pipe, the Democrats are doing everything they can to stall it, slow it down, and that's basically, that's led by the AEA, and that's kind of what they're doing down there. So when Commissioner Brown came out today and said, well, I'm advertising for an occupational tax, I'm like, holy goodness. So there'll be an article about it, and you know, the county's gotten to where when we came in, you know, it was a lot of the previous commission things that had gone wrong or things that they had done wrong, but you know, now they're finding everything that we're doing wrong. So we're doing the best we can with what we've got, and again, it was much worse than what we thought. Cooper Green Hospital. We had to make a big decision on Cooper Green Hospital. We have been running deficits $6 to $10 million every year. In other words, the expenses of running that hospital exceeded the revenue that we got from the Indigent Care Fund, any Medicaid and Medicare. We were exceeding that and having to take $6 to $10 million every year out of the general fund to support the hospital. And we said, guys, we cannot do this. So in 2011, we told them, you gotta live within the Indigent Care Fund, and they didn't. We told them again in early 2012, and they didn't. Then we laid it out for them, saying, here's what your numbers have to be. And it's always been the last sentence when you're talking about Cooper Green is, can't touch Cooper Green. Well, we touched Cooper Green. And we said, guys, I'm sorry. We cannot continue to, and this year, 2011, that deficit was up to $17 million. You had 650 employees at a hospital with an average patient load of about 35 patients a night. And we're going, that's crazy. That's unsustainable. It was similar to the problems they have at the Birmingham Board of Education, where this became a jobs mill instead of doing what you're supposed to do. And we told them, reduce your workforce to fit the number of patients you have, and you might can survive. They didn't want to hear that, and so we had to make the decisions that we did. We are, and the other thing we've had in the last couple of years is 2 tornadoes that come through here and just rip this county wide open. When we come into office, you have to go to 50 hours of, we call it Commissioner College, where they talk to you about roads and ethics and all this thing, but they didn't teach us about those tornadoes at Commissioner College. So that was something we had to learn and live through, because we got 5 new commissioners, similar to your council here, and there's nobody out there really with the blueprint, and everything's really screwed up. So we're taking it step by step, little by little, and doing the best we can with what we've got. And I think we're making progress. It doesn't appear that way, and you all know, when you do good things, that doesn't get reported. They're looking for the story. They're looking for the, we got you, So, you have to just keep your focus and set your plan and, keep working toward that plan. Our plan is to get out of bankruptcy and get back to making a plan, a 5-year plan that's going to serve the citizens. Patch those roads. Y'all had a lot of discussion about nothing other than taglines. will get you in hot water with your constituents worse than the deadgum pothole out there that everybody hits because it's your fault. And with the weather the way it's been since December, my goodness, you go patch them, and 2 days later, it's a washout again. So, you know, I feel for you on your roads, and you know the liability's always there because, and I guarantee you, we review probably 20 claims a month that somebody's sewer's backed up or somebody hit a manhole, or I mean, they're out there, they're coming. So, you know, you just have to do the best you can, and that's exactly what we're going to do. I didn't mean to take up all y'all's time, but I just wanted to give you a little update of what we're doing. And it's nice to come out here and have people that's nice and give you coffee and not throwing rocks at you and stuff. So. And if you get out of line, they'll come to your house and they protest. I mean, that's it happened to me, and
It did.
so, you know, I told one of those protesters, I said, next time if I run for re-election, I'm gonna have you come back out because you lift me up in my community. Thank you all. Thank you very much.
All right, any other comments?
Talking about commissioner there, I know the city don't have no way to cut the right of ways, edge of the roads.
Mhm.
And you know, I've done that for nearly 20 years. And it's gonna be grass cutting time here in just a few days. When the sun comes out, everybody gonna be making plans. So I have cut CountyLine's part when I was doing it down behind the church, you know, where it stops. And we used to charge it a way that it would be brought back to the town. You understand what I'm saying? You know, we filled out a time sheet, then whatever time we will fill out on that road, the county can cut it with their machines and all of it in 2 hours. And I like to see the mayor and the council hire Jefferson County to keep our roads cut. That's in Jefferson County, which will be this road right here, and one more street up here. It's in the curve. I kept Rogers Street because in 2 hours they'd have it all cut and be done with it. And I don't know how they do it now, but used to, you know, we do it and we will build the town, you know, for the money.
Mm-hmm.
But would y'all consider doing that in y'all's meeting? Because it's gonna be that time again. The commission tonight might enlighten us on some of that, you know.
Well, it's funny you brought that up. I had that discussion this morning with my Mr. Sullivan, who's our chief engineer.
You need one.
And I said, listen, you know, it's gonna be growing time here long, because I got out this weekend and helped clean up about a half a mile of garbage because I got so many complaints. I said, well, let's just go clean it up. So we did that. But in that, I mean, I can show you the briar marks on my arms and stuff. And so I talked to the county engineer and I said, look, when are we gonna go out there and cut these ditches? Because they're our ditches and that's county road. And he goes, well, you know, ain't got much help anymore, ain't got no laborers, and so we may make a couple of passes this year, but that's gonna be about it. So before you volunteer me, I have to caution you. You know, how long ago did you work for?
I didn't get called back at the layoff.
Okay.
Don't get me started on that. You may not.
Don't go there.
And you're right. The layoff hit roads. Back when we had that tornado, I think we had 400 and something folks at roads, and now we're down to 200 or just barely over 200. So we're working with a skeleton crew out there too. And to come back with this consent decree and this contempt hearing we just had, you know, it's going to be tough for bringing people back, because what they'll have to do is basically draw a name out of a hat. And that's no way to have to pick your employees, because then, you know, those of you that run a business, if somebody ain't pulling their load, you say, hey, I'll give you one warning, if that, otherwise you hit the road.
You don't do that.
Not at Jefferson County. You have to write them up and write them up and write them up, and then you're still gonna have a lawsuit. So, it's not like you can pick and choose, and we're having those issues too, so, but I don't have anything to do with that personnel stuff, okay?
That's not your department.
We'll ask the county about it, but I understand the county's limitations. You know, I think everybody is feeling those limitations,
Yes.
not just Jefferson County.
Right.
But, you know, we'll do our very best to keep the roads clean in our town. That's our responsibility, so. Anyway, any other comments? We have a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion, we adjourn.
I second.
All in favor? We're adjourned.
All right.
Good to see you again.